Hello everyone, my name is Jeffrey and welcome back to episode 35 of my Satisfactory Let's Play series. Today I'm getting started on a new swamp project. With the goal of 30 fused modular frames per minute, there are quite a few steps ahead of us. Getting our basic production lines set up and an open opportunity for something really cool underneath. I'm looking forward to how this build is going to come together. Thank you for all the support and help with the series so far. Let's get to playing games. Well, from one mega project into another, it's time to do 30 fused modular frames. But today, we're heading to the swamp. It's gonna be a good time. There is all the iron in the world over there. There's a few different pure nodes that I'm gonna be taking advantage of today because I need to bring in almost 5,000 iron for this one. Why? Because I'm not using the pure iron ingot recipe. Also why? Because I hate the decimal numbers that comes along with it. So I'm instead going with the just normal iron smelters, which means I need like 165 of them or something like that. It's going to be a lot. So let's get ready and we'll head on over there today. It is going to be in this spot right here, right in this little gap right here. It also has all the limestone I'm going to be needing because I am going to be using the wet concrete recipe. We're going to be using some copper ore, some iron ore, and the limestone, and then I'm also going to have to eventually build a monster-sized train line. That basically, I think the train line more or less ends in this general area right now, and I need it to go all the way around here to this section right on over here. And eventually, it'll also branch up in here into the Red Sands Desert, and then hopefully it'll loop back down around, and one day, on maybe episode 697, we'll have a worldwide train network. But anyway, thank you guys again for being here for another episode. Thank you for those who are supporting the channel on the Patreon or on the YouTube members. I appreciate you guys. If you want to get your name on this wall of awesome people, head on over to the Patreon or the YouTube membership page. Any of our membership tiers gets your name up on the wall. So without further ado, let's get ourselves ready. We're going to be doing some smelters, some constructors, maybe some assemblers if we have time, and then some other constructors too, doing some iron pipes. But I've got things sort of set up for us. I at least built a bit of a platform for us. There's an elevator and some spaces marked out for us to start working on. But I'm going to try and keep in as much of like even some of the aesthetic stuff that I do for this one. Just because I think we'll be able to do some cool things with this one. So let's head on over in this human cannon launcher that I put down here. And it's going to shoot me on over to the swamp. There we go. It's almost like I teleported. Here we are at what I've essentially got ready for us. This is one of the floors for the factory we're going to be doing over here. Let me switch to my electric cover pack here. I don't know how much power actually I've run around this factory. I've got it kind of set up to where the actual elevator is actually powered and ready to go. So we've got this floor right here. This is considered the top floor of the factory. This is where we're going to be bringing in the train that is going to be bringing in the aluminum ingots. I don't think I needed to train in anything else because pretty much everything else we're going to need is going to come from the swamp area here. And then I may have some rooms set up just for a tiny little train out if I want to send these fused modular frames. But I was thinking of maybe actually just waiting, and then we can set up maybe a drone port to come pick up the fused modular frames, which would also involve building a packaged rocket fuel factory in order for to fuel our fleet of drones. I think that'd be a good project to get started on eventually. But this is kind of what we're going with for now. So this big area right here that I got marked out with the asphalt and the coated concrete, got coated concrete going all the way around. I did have someone ask before how I kind of go about pre-planning my factories like this, where you kind of build the factory itself before you actually put the machines in to make sure you actually have enough room and not have to expand out a bunch of stuff later on. Generally, my rule of thumb is especially now that I use blueprints a lot, so I'll show you kind of how I do it here, is I'll grab, like, say, for example, a 10 constructor manifold, because this is where constructors are going to be. I kind of try and place it out and then give myself enough space going around. I'm definitely giving myself more space now as we get further into the builds here. But that's kind of how I do it. I know all my blueprints are basically 4x4 or 5x5, so generally a 7x7 square is usually a safe space for fitting in your 5s with room around it for all your lifts and all your belts and stuff that have come through. And I think it should work out pretty well. So here is more or less the plan that we're going to go with. So we need 32 constructors doing iron rods. I'm going to boost that to 40. I'll probably do either 10 stacks or 10 stacks. I'll do 4 stacks of the 10 here. Or I may adjust it as we kind of go here because we're going to have two stacks of 10 constructors doing iron plates here. I guess I might as well just stop hovering around for now. We're going to have 30 constructors over here. That's 10 stack, 3 stacks of 10 for the constructor for the wire. And then there's going to be another 4 stacks of 10 here doing the iron pipes. One set of them is going to be doing 600. Another set is going to be doing 360. So I'll kind of split them up, I think, evenly. I think that would basically mean you take one whole floor of 10 because I think it makes about 300. And then you just take 2 more from another and then belt it all together. And that should work out nicely. And then we've got this section right here, like I said, with the 40 construction with the iron rods. Now, as you can see, I do have probably a little bit of extra space here. Before, like if I add in the trains and all that stuff, I'm trying to leave it kind of open because I want to be able to have like the offload balancing station here as well. So hopefully we should be able to fit 4 stacks of constructors on top of each other. I should have enough room. I mean, I think it's about 9. Okay, so this floor is 10. So it's 40 meters we have before you actually hit the ceiling. So we should be able to fit the stack in here pretty well. And then if I go into the elevator here, which is not on this floor apparently. But yeah, over here is going to be all of our smelters. So you've got a group of smelters doing 400 copper ore, and then we do our iron. We got one group of smelters doing 480. It's going to be 20 total. We've got one group of smelters doing 600, also 20 total, but not downclocked. This one is one group of smelters for 3,840, which is 130 total, which is 13 groups of 10. And that essentially is a total of 17 groups of 10 smelters is going to have to fit in this area. Now, there's a lot of space in here, so I'm pretty sure I should be able to fit all of them in. Worst case scenario, I can always extend this down just a little bit, although I'm pretty sure, especially stacking wise, I should be able to get 170 smelters in here. So now we're going to head on up into the elevator where we can go between the floors. Also, thank you guys for letting me know I can change the music in here. So we got Fix a Nova, a fantastic lift, hiss hiss. All right, personnel elevator is now one of my new favorites. So you can kind of come in here and you can go to the, I actually haven't edited this one yet to have an icon, but this will take you up to the roof. And essentially what the roof is basically just a human cannon to take me back to base whenever I need to. It's set up right there. And then anything we may, like if we get ready to add the drone ports a little bit later on, they could probably be set up here as well. So let's hop back on here. We're going to skip over the upper level. That's where the trains is. Trains is? What the English was that? All right, welcome to the lower level. Nothing's been done here yet. I mean, I do have a little bit of pathing in here ready to go, but I haven't actually marked much out down here. This is the floor where a lot of the, I believe, assemblers and blenders and refineries are all going to be. So that's going to be a lot of this stuff down here. Like the concrete's going to get made down here. The fused modular frames themselves are going to get made down here. Kind of more of the like ending parts of the factory are actually going to be on this floor here. So then we're going to come back into the elevator, and we're going to go down to the very bottom floor, which I thought was a really cool design. We're going to go to the swamp floor plus water pumps. The water pumps don't exist yet, but the swamp does. So you're going to come down here. It's going to open up. You're going to come into this section right here, and I thought down here would be a super cool spot to do just some kind of neat, like, cool lighting, and make it sort of like this would be like a research facility sort of down here, because you've got like bad guys over there, you've got some crash ship pods, you got some gas things, you got all sorts of stuff going on down here. And then eventually you're going to come down this pathway down here, which I'm going to bring over to this section, and it is going to have to be, I think before you can even put in the water pumps, I think you have to come all the way over. Where is it? I think it's pretty much got to be right here, I think is where you can start them. Yeah, so they can be started right here. However, I'm going to need 900 water total, so I think I'm going to have to go over here. I'm trying not to walk into those gas things right just yet. Yeah, so I think maybe if I put them over here, I should be able to fit them in pretty well. Although I may end up pushing it a little bit further, maybe in this direction, just so I can kind of fit them all in together at the same time. Instead having to, maybe I might have to go all the way out here, which I don't want to do. So that was the general idea. If you guys have any cool ideas on like sort of like cool designs, or like just like an idea of what you think would be in sort of a swamp scientific research facility, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see if I can kind of like add it into the construction here. This was just going to be like a sign for telling you that this way towards the water pump station. And then I was thinking off this side, I would end up doing like the, just like a nice staircase down, and then that can take you down into the swamp. And then we can maybe even have an exit out back this side, because there's like a cave over here. Wait, what is this? It's closed off is what it is. Oh wait, what goes down over here? Okay, so this is, oh, I thought it was gonna be a dead end, but it has radiation, so I'm gonna leave for now. We are not prepared for dealing with radiation just yet, but we can take a look and see what's inside this cave here. Probably more radiation, to be honest. Yep, more radiation. Just another way to get in there. Okay, so we'll at least have this. This can be like part of the research facility going into that cave there. I think there's another cave here as well. So the whole idea of like turning this into like a research area, I know it doesn't really have anything to do with the game, but I just thought it would look cool. And I think it's a kind of a fun area to like, I kind of like spending time in the swamp. It's got like a cool eerie feeling to it. And then I believe there's like a pathway that just kind of goes up here. Yeah, and this will just take you up and out of the swamp. So this can more or less be like an exit area. All right, now that I've been talking for a good 10 minutes or so before the episode has actually even started, let's go ahead and we'll get started on placing some machines upstairs. So we're gonna go to the upper level here. And I absolutely love the elevators. It's such a cool like view to just go through the factory, especially once the factory starts to fill in more. Like going to this floor already just is like, man, this is gonna look super cool, I think. So let's start out with our smelters, shall we? Let's do our one group of smelters for the floor. Let's do the 15 total for the copper smelters. Let's maybe set those up on this front section here, and then we'll leave the rest of them. Actually, maybe we'll have them going this way. So we'll have the copper smelters right here. I think I can hover here, right? Okay, good. So let's grab our blueprints, our smelters, which is part of our foundry section. So let's grab our stackable here. Our stackable copper ore blueprint. Make sure we give myself enough space on the backside here. I want them facing towards me. Actually, let's figure out what's a good way to put these in, actually. Alright, well, I made it 20 because I couldn't really find a good way to stack 15 and not have it look kind of silly. So I know this is way more smelters than you need, but we're just going to do a whole bunch of, like, literally 6 more than I actually needed, which is a lot. So I'm just going to do it like this. And I mean, you could also do it as just like a stack of 10, and then you could just overclock them, which would also work. But I mean, just since everything's going to be kind of stacked in general, I think this will just kind of fit in better. And then we'll just have to downclock it. So if these are going to be set to making 400, that means at the moment they are currently making 600. So I got to take off 200 from here somewhere. And fun fact, in order to do that, I'm going to have them set, this whole top section is only going to do 10 per minute, which is going to be awesome. Totally not a waste of machines at all. But since it's only moving 400 per minute as well, that means you can kind of just connect all of these together. What we'll do is we'll take the merger off this side. Still don't know if they fixed this part yet, where it actually just automatically reconnects to belts again or not. You guys can let me know in the comments down below. So then we're just going to take a lift from here. We're going to pop it into that bad boy right there. And then that should be 400 copper ore coming out right here. So let me put a little sign up now so I don't forget. There we go. So that'll be 400 copper set up, ready to go. So that is the copper part of our list done. So now we can just do the remainder groups of iron smelters. So yeah, we got to do 20 smelters for the iron. So we'll put that in front of this section right here. And then, although actually I'm wondering if I should maybe spin these to be going this way, and then they'll come back like this. I might just do that. Alright, so I'm going to jump ahead on you guys. I was trying to figure out the best way to kind of lay these out here, because I originally was thinking of laying them out going the other way, but this seems to be actually a pretty good way of doing it, and then I'll have a little bit of space in between here for walking through, and also moving stuff around. So you'll have a group of 10 here, another group of 10 here. So this will be the group of 20, so let's grab this again. We're actually going to do stacking one more time, because I may need more room on top here. So we're going to go these ones, that's going to be set for the 20 we need for one group, and then we'll do another one which will be right next to it. We'll grab this part right here, slap those down right there. So that's another group of 20. That's my 2 groups of 20 that I needed. Man, this is actually pretty easy. I mean, still got to connect up all the belts and everything. I still want to take time, so I may end up streaming on Twitch, so if you guys aren't following me already, feel free to head on over there. It's Chefry 4 right now. I'm going to change it over to Chefry Plays Games eventually. But I'm going to start streaming some of my like in-between episode things, just so you guys can see more. Maybe we'll do some like cosmetic stuff, and like messing around with like more blueprints and all that kind of fun stuff, and like setting up the base factories like this. So if you guys want to come hang out, once I move May 1st, and then I'm hoping to get everything all set up and ready to go soon for that. So yeah, head on over there, and we'll be hanging out live, and I can take your comments and your feedback, and we can just hang out and build some Satisfactory stuff. So that should be those ones, and then now I need what, 17 or no, sorry, I need 13 more, 13 groups of 10. So that's gonna be, hopefully this will all fit in here. So let's put those about right. See how much space we kind of got to deal with in here. I want to leave myself one at the back obviously as well. Perfect, I can actually fit this right in between them actually. So we'll be able to fit, this will be one, be what, 4 here? I think this will all work actually. So able to fit 4 here. And then I might as well just link these all together, right? Yeah, so that'd be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'd be 8 because 4 on top, 4 on the bottom. And then we'd have 16 over here. So I guess I actually don't need the stackers on top because that's all the smelters I would need. So I think what I'll probably do is I'll end up swapping out all of these stackable ones because I don't need them to be stackable. And then that's because it would just be kind of a, well, I mean, I guess we can always leave them in. It's not necessarily a bad thing to have them like this. So we'll have these set up, and then I'll, well, probably, oh my god, I can't talk today. I think what I'll do is I'll set these up as 16, and then I'll just downclock it as if it was 13. There we go. At least this way we have like a nice, clean, wow, super clean and even looking factory. So all these smelters will be working away through here. I just lost my power coming through the middle. Yeah, you know what, I think we can, I'll probably decide partway through the episode, or partway through like recording this build playthrough, whether or not I take that second stackable floor off the top and I just leave it open to the ceiling. I'll kind of decide as we go through. The other thing I still haven't done and I keep forgetting to is I actually need to raise the ceiling on my actual stackable smelting blueprint to be the same as everybody else. But since we're not going to be connecting in with any constructors, we're just going to be across from them, so you're going to see it. It's going to be a little ugly, but we'll fix that in the future. That's future Chefry's problem. So, new game plan, because I was trying to plan this out and I realized you can't actually stack 4 of these on top of each other. The most you can get is 30. So, I mean, you could technically do it where, like, as you can see here, is 32. You could just overclock them and then just have the stack of 30. And then, I mean, you could technically do the same thing over here. But I think instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to set 2 stacks here, 2 stacks there. And then the same thing for over here, 2 stacks of pipes here, 1 stack of pipe here. And then over here, as you can see I've moved my signs. We'll have our 20 constructors for iron plates up there, and then we'll have our 30 constructors for wire right here. There should be enough room, I think. Let me just double check that before I get all excited about this plan. Alright, fun fact, changed my mind again. So I think I'm actually, I know I don't normally overclock, but I'm actually going to do it on this one just so things just fit in together better. So, we're going to have our 20 constructors doing iron plates here, and then we'll have our 30 constructors here. We'll have 30 constructors here, and then we'll have 30 constructors here. Do I add a second set of, or a third set of 10 on here and just downclock it so it's all even? Probably. Alright, cool. So yeah, like I was saying, I'd like to put things basically right in the middle. So I have a 5x5 square that's sitting on, and then it's got one block all around. So essentially it is a 7x7. I'm going to have everyone facing, let's go this way towards the train. So that when you walk, you're walking through the floor, everything's kind of moving with you. So then we'll do the same thing over here. We'll put this right in the middle of the 7x7 spots. That'll go right there. And I'll fall out of the sky because I'm out of power again. So we're going to pop that right there. And then, so you're going to get, what do you get? You got 3 stacks, right? So I'm going to do one more of you. And one more of you. You know what? I probably will make it 30 just so everybody's even. So, but then there's not going to be the stacker on top. So let's grab, oops. Actually, wait, that was, oops. I said this is the wrong ones. These are plates. And gotta love blueprints, right? Now I got, what was that, 90 constructors down in the matter of, what, 5 minutes? Something like that. So we'll still have to fill in a few things and then connect to our belts as well. But now these are going to be our rods. These are going to be our plates. So I'll have to figure out how much overclocking and where I'm actually going to be doing it, because I need to add in enough for an extra 2. And then this one's going to be a little bit harder because we're going to have to do an extra 8 in the overclock, which I need to just bring my power over. And I'm not, do I actually have a blueprint for iron pipes? I have no blueprint for iron pipes. Okay, let's fix this. There we go. Pretty easy fix. Okay, so now I've got 10 constructor stack pipe. That's going to be the first one we put down. Make sure everyone's going the right direction, which is that way. Stick another one on top. And then we'll have to hit it with the I do have one non-stacking. And then the wire, we also have those set up as well. So we're going to go 10 constructor wire stack. Make sure everyone's coming the right way. Now it's facing the right way. Except now I can't see because it's too dark. Oh, so I plummet out of the sky. Okay, so let's get this lined up, and then I'll just kind of scoot ahead to daytime. I'll hook up some belts and stuff while I wait. It gets real dark in the swamp at nighttime. I don't know, did they change that? I've been in the swamp before, and I don't recall it getting as dark as it was. Although I guess it's been quite a while, especially since I've actually had it be proper nighttime. But man, it gets just pitch black in the swamp area. Almost to the point where I actually would have gotten, I could see better, but I get less performance, but I can see better if I turn on the glow illumination, because I have my signs in here actually making some light. But unfortunately, I can't really record with the glow illumination on. It kind of makes my computer just sort of want to give up. But that sort of, so we now have our smelters done. We have our plates, rods, and wire kind of all set up, ready to go. And then now I can, and iron pipes done as well. I kind of did this, my to-do list has a couple things out of order. But now we can go down to the bottom level here, the lower level. And we're going to set up a little section to have 22 stitched iron plate assemblers, which honestly should work out pretty well to just kind of go, I think, right here. And then maybe if I do, let's see how many I can actually fit in a row here. And then maybe I can either do like 2 rows of 10 with a little bit of overclock, maybe do 2 rows of 11 with a little overclocking. Who knows? Okay, I did some measuring out, and I think 2 rows of 11 assemblers is actually going to work really well. But I'm actually going to stack them just to kind of make it a little bit easier on myself. So I think I'm going to do, we'll face them like this. Let's get these actually into a proper position I like. Let's go send everything. Give me the mergers on this side, I think. No, because then it comes towards me. So I actually want to go this way. I was wrong. I actually wanted to go this way. So it's all kind of feeding down there, I think. Actually, no, I guess it would make more sense to feed it down that way, because that's where the other machines are going to be. So let's turn it like that. And then I'll put in, but this kind of does alter my idea was actually to send them this way, and then they'll be stacked on each other, and then you just have a line of assemblers here. Because I still need to fit in, let me just double check my other machines I need to put in. Actually, no, you know what? I think I will put it facing the way I was saying, because that way I can maybe put in, I have some manufacturers going in as well. Like there's a ton more assemblers to be put in, but then there's also some manufacturers, blenders, and a couple of refineries. I do also have to make, so I have to turn that 2,250 aluminum ingots. I have to turn that into aluminum casings. I may end up doing that actually back at the other factory, just because it's going to be 25 constructors I have to squeeze in. I'll kind of make that decision more as we're making our way through this build, whether or not to bring them over as casings or ingots. It won't really make a huge difference. It would definitely be less trained cars I have to bring over for sure, but I mean, at only 6 cars for 2250, that's not too bad either. So let's go ahead and put these 2 groups of 11 down. So going down like this, and then I'm also going to stack them just double on top of each other. But instead of the stacking one, we're going to go to the non-stacking. And apparently I can't hook those up with blueprint mode, so I'm going to have to do this manually. Just kind of shift everybody into position. Make sure everyone's all lined up. That looks pretty good to me. Drop down here a little bit. Oh, it's actually shifted one over, so... a little something like that. Alright, 11 assemblers. Well, 22 assemblers, sorry. 11 double stacked. So there will be a little bit of underclocking here to do, because I only need, I think it's like 150 reinforced iron, stitched iron plates, reinforced iron plates, whatever you want to call them. I think I only need about 150 here per minute. And this is currently going to do a whole lot more than that. Sorry, couldn't read. It's 120 that I need per minute, and we currently output 123.75. So we need to take 3.75 off of here. So let's go to stitched iron plate here. Let's go 5.62 minus 3.75. That is 1.87 per minute. So we're going to copy that right there. We're going to paste this into right here. If it'll let me. There we go. A 1.87 per minute, downclocked 33.2444%, and then that should be exactly 120 out per minute from that. That is coming the right way, right? So the assembler mergers right there coming this way. Perfect. All right, that should work for now. I mean, nothing too crazy and fancy. I'll do some more decorations and stuff as we go along, and I'll add in some more. Like, I haven't done any of the overhead lighting down here yet. I also have some trees to clear out down here as well that are coming through the flooring. But I wanted to kind of at least get my general basics done, set up and ready to go. So these will all be set to do stitched iron plates. Everything can be 100% except for that one in the end we downclocked. And that'll get fed by the... sorry, brain fart there for a second. That'll get the iron plates and the copper wire coming down from above here. So I feel like that'll probably be an easy way to start up the next episode that we're working on, is kind of start bringing everything in. We still have to hit up quite a few iron nodes, the copper node, as well as the limestone. So the limestone is actually right there, which is kind of perfect. The copper node, I believe, isn't too far. The copper node is somewhere underneath the factory here, I believe. So I fall to my death. Where's the copper? There it is. Wait, which one was I going to use? I don't really think it matters, but I think I was going to use this one over here. And then we have a couple iron nodes up here that we're going to be using. I don't have my right jetpack on here. There we go. So we come up here. There's a few pure iron nodes here ready to go. Literally one I'm standing on top of. Didn't even realize that. So yeah, we got a couple right here. So that's the one node we're going to be hitting. I think there's 2 nodes right here we're going to be hitting. Second one is on this ledge right here. Should also be pure. It sure is. And then up on this cliff here, there's another one I'm going to be stealing. And then there's a few more in the swamp that I'm going to be using as well. And that's pretty much going to be all of the actual raw inputs I need. And I'm just going to use probably belt moving towers to bring them over. Or I'll build like a cool, like some sort of like covered belt system to bring them over. The copper is definitely easy. I mean, copper we can probably just do right now. Let's figure out where that is again. Alright, I gotta cut. Oh, that's a radioactive one in between me and my copper. Okay, well, let's make sure I take the long way around those guys, because they're just gonna give me quite a pain in the butt. So it looks like actually if I maybe go from this side, I can bring the copper over, and we'll just bring like a belt line over from there. So let's grab... Oh, that's a big old spider as well that I'm gonna have to kill. Please don't hurt me. Oh god. Oh god, he's up here now. Alright, that worked, but there's now a giant gas cloud here that I'm gonna have to probably wait until it dissipates, I'm assuming. I mean, that was just rude. I had to wait until it dissipated. So I got 5 spitter remains though, so that's pretty good. So back to the upper level here, which is where our main project starts today. I'll kind of summarize. I think this is probably a good place to end the first one. I mean, this is kind of a big project I'm going to be working on, so I'm going to have to split this up again over a few episodes. And plus I'm moving, so I'm a little bit pressed for time right now, so things are going to be maybe a little bit slower than normal over these next couple uploads, but I'll definitely be back to normal once I'm all set up and ready to go again. So that will, like I said, bring us to the end of today. I appreciate you guys being here for the setup of our next mega project. Any questions, comments, or like I said, ideas for the cool swamp area down below, make sure you just leave a little comment, or you can join the Discord and pop some like cool ideas in there for me to follow. If I end up using anything super cool that I like what you guys are giving, don't worry, I will definitely give you guys a shout out. And like I said, if you want to support the channel, keep this whole YouTube dream alive, you can check out the Patreon or the YouTube membership, and links are both down below in the description. And I will see you guys in the next one.